Welcome to the SugarConnect Syncing Your Calendar and Contacts in Google Workspace video. In this video, we'll outline how to access the SugarConnect portal, how to use SugarConnect to easily sync your meetings and contacts between Sugar and Google, and how to use the SugarConnect meeting scheduler. Let's start by accessing the SugarConnect portal. The SugarConnect portal is a website that's available to all SugarConnect users as a supplement to the sidebar. It's also where you'll go to enable your calendar and contact sync, as well as access the meeting scheduler. You can access the portal by going to your options menu within the sidebar and selecting Open SugarConnect Portal. Now that we've opened the portal, let's talk about what syncing your calendar with SugarConnect means. SugarConnect is going to sync meetings between Sugar and your Google Calendar. After the initial sync, events that are assigned to you in Sugar will be synced automatically. The sync interval between Google Calendar and Sugar occurs once every 15 to 30 minutes. There are some rules for setting up the calendar sync, so let's review those first. Calendar sync can be a one- or two-way sync between Sugar and your Google Calendar. With one-way sync, Google Calendar events will sync to the Sugar Calendar, but not from the Sugar Calendar back to the Google Calendar. With two-way sync, the Google Calendar and Sugar Calendar events will sync bidirectionally. Only the calls and meetings that are assigned to you in Sugar will be synced to your external calendar. Sugar calls and meetings for which you're a guest but not the assigned user will not sync to your calendar. Reoccurring events that were created or accepted in your external calendar will not sync to Sugar. In the case of a conflict between synced events, the external calendar's changes will win over changes made in Sugar. Sugar calls, meetings, and tasks will become calendar events in your Google Calendar. Now that we've gone over the rules, let's go ahead and set up our calendar sync. First, navigate to the SugarConnect portal. Click on the synchronization option on the left-hand side. From here, click Configure. You'll enter your Sugar server URL, your username and password, and click Save. Now let's configure our calendar sync settings. You may have the option to toggle one- or two-way sync if your Connect admin has chosen the setting to allow users to choose this individually. By default, the Use Primary Calendar box is going to be checked. This means that the connector is going to sync events to and from your main Google Calendar. You can disable this option if you want, and SugarConnect will create a new custom calendar within Google that's labeled Sugar. Only events within that Sugar calendar will sync with your Sugar instance. Just note in doing that, you're going to have to create duplicates of calendar events that you've accepted or created in your Google Calendar in the Sugar calendar in order for them to sync back to Sugar. Sync private events will allow you to sync meetings marked as private. Finally, there's a few options for syncing Sugar meetings, calls, and tasks based on their current status. Once you've made your selections, you're going to click Start and it'll begin the sync. You'll know that the synchronization is complete once you see calendar synchronization has been initialized and there's a timestamp for the last sync that took place, the time of the next scheduled sync, and the calendar that was enabled. If at any point I want to pause the calendar sync, I can navigate back to the screen and select the Pause button. Now that we've enabled Calendar Sync, let's take a look at viewing Sugar calls and meetings in the Google Calendar. I'm going to navigate to my Google Calendar from Gmail by going to my Google Apps and selecting Calendar. Because I selected the default primary calendar during sync setup, all I have to do is take a look at my calendar and I'm able to see events synced from Sugar on my Google Calendar. If you choose to disable the primary calendar option, then you'll need to make sure to check the box for the Sugar label, which will ensure that you're seeing your Sugar calls and meetings on your Google Calendar. Now let's explore how to create Sugar meetings in your Google Calendar using SugarConnect. If you selected the default primary calendar option, all you have to do is create a new meeting event, save, and it will sync to Sugar as a new meeting record on the next calendar sync. If you've disabled the primary calendar option, you want to be sure that you select the Sugar calendar when creating your meeting. Please note that events that you delete from your sync to Google Calendar will automatically be deleted from Sugar during the next calendar sync. Now let's take a look at SugarConnect's built-in scheduling system. It allows you to provide a custom link to your meeting scheduling page, which then syncs with your Google Calendar. You'll start by navigating to your SugarConnect portal. Click on Scheduler in the left panel. The scheduler comes preloaded with 3 event types, which represent standard 60, 30, and 15-minute meetings. For each event type, you have the ability to open the calendar link. This will pull up the scheduling view in a new window, displaying available time slots in your calendar based on the availability of your synced calendar and preferred meeting time. You can copy the meeting link, which you can then copy directly to an email, chat client, or other messaging service. You can also edit the event type, which will pull up the configuration screen. There, you can choose the name and description of the event, the duration of the event in minutes, the minimum scheduled notice, enable the option to create leads in CRM, limit the days available for this event's type in the calendar, and the availability, where you can set the days of the week and hours of the day for the invitees to choose from. Any existing events on your synced calendar will automatically be deducted from the available hours. You can also enable or disable the availability of the day, edit the hours of the day to be available, and set one or more windows of time to be available within a day by interval. You can also delete any event type and toggle the event type to enable or disable its availability. You can also create a new event type by clicking Add Event Type. For example, if you want to meet with John for 30 minutes on Monday or Tuesday morning, you can create a new event type called Meeting with John and set the availability to only the morning hours for Monday or Tuesday. When you share the scheduling link with John, he will be able to select from any of these times, minus the times which are blocked off due to existing meetings on your synced calendar. When you're ready to set up a meeting with someone, click on the Copy Scheduler link icon for the relevant event type. The URL for the scheduler page will be stored in your clipboard, and you can paste it into a new message. When the recipient clicks on the link, they'll see your availability based on your synced calendar and the meeting type. They will then click on the link and choose the meeting time that works best for them. Here's an example of the page they will see. The invitee should click on the time they prefer and will then be prompted to enter their personal information. On save, they will see a screen with the meeting details and will receive an email with the subject SugarConnect Confirm Booking Schedule. The invitee must click the link in the confirmation email in order to successfully schedule the meeting. It will only be scheduled when the link is clicked. The meeting details will then be sent to you in an automated email with the subject line starting with Booked Meeting. SugarConnect will also add the meeting to your calendar with the status Busy and will send a formal invite to the invitee who can then accept this meeting request to add it to their calendar. Let's move on to Contact Sync. Using this feature allows you to sync your Sugar leads and contacts to Google Contacts via SugarConnect. Before we set up the Contact Sync, there are some rules to keep in mind. Contact Sync is a one-way push from Sugar to your external address book, and only leads and contacts that are assigned to you in Sugar will sync. Contacts that exist in your address book but are not yet in Sugar will not sync to Sugar during the sync process. The contact sync time interval is set to every hour or every 15 minutes, depending on your subscription plan. When editing records, the changes made to leads and contacts in your Sugar instance will sync over to your external address book. Any changes that you've made to a contact in your Google address book will not sync back to Sugar, and more importantly, will actually be overwritten upon the next automatic sync update. So you want to make sure that if you're making changes to any of your contacts, you're doing so within Sugar. Creating new Sugar contacts can be done via the SugarConnect sidebar or directly in Sugar, but deleting records must be done in Sugar. Otherwise, if you delete a synced contact from your address book but not from Sugar, that contact is going to reappear in your address book after the next sync. Now, let's set up our contact sync. Navigate back to the SugarConnect portal and click on the synchronization option on the left-hand side. Select the Calendar and Contact Sync option. You can see that we've already set up our calendar sync, so all we have to do now is go ahead and click Start under number 3 for the contact synchronization. Because I've already input my credentials, it's automatically going to go ahead and start the synchronization process. Once the synchronization has been initialized, you'll see that message here. You'll also see that there are time-stamped sync dates, and you'll know that you're set and good to go. If at any point you want to pause the sync, you can do that on this page. You should now have an understanding of how to access the SugarConnect portal, as well as how to use SugarConnect to easily sync your meetings and contacts between Sugar and Google using SugarConnect for Google Workspace. Thanks so much for watching.